What is the single best upgrade you can make to your home? It's not a new sofa or a new paint job. It's the window to every world imaginable. Your television. But right now, the TV market is a battlefield. OLED, QLED, Mini LED, 8K, 16K. Brands are screaming for your attention, and it's impossible to know what's real innovation and what's just marketing hype. What if you knew, with 100% certainty, which TV was perfect for your room and your wallet? After testing over 50 models, from the absurdly expensive to the surprisingly cheap, we found the only 4 TVs that truly matter this year. One of them dethroned a giant, and another will shock you with its price. The links to check the latest prices on all 4 are in the description below. Let's find your next perfect TV. Starting at number 1. Samsung 65-inch S90D OLED 4K TV. Best overall. The Samsung S90D hits just the right sweet spot between price and performance. The 65-inch model is often on sale for around $1,500 or less and offers image quality that beats every other TV in its price range. It also boasts a healthy assortment of smart features and a handsome design. The S90D uses a QD-OLED screen, which allows it to control contrast on a pixel basis so black levels are truly black and bright highlights pop with pinpoint precision. Even the most expensive LED and QLED TVs struggle in this area. The S90D also uses quantum dot technology to provide a brighter and wider range of colors than competing mid-range OLEDs from LG. Sony is the only other brand that sells an OLED with quantum dots, but it costs around double the price of the S90D. In my testing, I measured a peak brightness of around 1200 nits, which makes the S90D an excellent TV for watching high dynamic range, HDR, content. Many HDR videos are mastered with 1000 nits in mind, so the S90D is capable of showcasing HDR highlights, like explosions, with the intensity that filmmakers intended. This all translates to gorgeous image quality with bold colors and sharp details. The S90D is available in many sizes, from 42 to 83 inches. However, keep in mind that the 42-, 48-, and 83-inch S90D models don't use quantum dots. They still offer excellent image quality, but their color performance can't match that of the 55-, 65-, and 77-inch sizes. Samsung also sells a 2025 version of this TV, the S90F, that can get a little brighter but costs a lot more. The S90F will likely come down in price a lot as the year goes on, but for now, the cheaper S90D is a better buy. Number 2. LG 65-inch G5 OLED 4K TV. Best picture quality. The G5 is the most impressive high-end TV I've tested, besting my previous pick in this category, the Sony A95L. Though Sony's premium OLED is still a fantastic display, the G5 offers a brighter image with more impact while maintaining the pixel-perfect contrast that OLEDs are celebrated for. Using an industry-standard 10% test pattern with the TV set in its most accurate setting, I measured a peak brightness of around 2400. That's a record for an OLED and more than 1000 nits brighter than many mid-range models, like the Samsung S90D. Of course, test patterns can only reveal so much. What's actually important is how the TV looks when watching real-world content. And in a word, the G5 is stunning. High-brightness HDR movies like Mad Max, Fury Road, and Aquaman pop from the screen in ways I've never seen on an OLED, taking full advantage of the G5's nearly unmatched combination of intense peak highlights and infinite contrast. Viewing angles are wide as well, so you can sit to the side of the screen without any major shifts in contrast and color. Gamers even get a high 165Hz refresh rate when paired with a PC. Number 3. TCL 65-inch QM6K QLED 4K TV. Best budget model. The QM6K is TCL's top entry-level QLED TV for 2025. When the display launched earlier this year, its list price was a bit high, but recent discounts have made it the best TV on a budget. The 65-inch size is often on sale for $650 or less, which is an excellent value for a TV in this class. What sets the QM6K apart from most similarly priced TVs is its use of a mini LED backlight with local dimming and quantum dots. These features are usually reserved for pricier sets, and they allow the QM6K to produce higher contrast and better colors than most of its rivals. When reviewing the TV, I was impressed by its backlight control, which produced minimal blooming, halos around bright objects. It also offered an overall solid HDR image with great saturation. However, as a budget-friendly TV, the QM6K has some limitations. The display's black levels are a little lighter than what I've seen on more expensive QLEDs, and the panel's brightness is limited compared to mid-range and high-end sets. I measured a peak of 557 nits on a 10% HDR test pattern and about 736 nits on a larger 50% test pattern. Those are decent numbers for an entry-level mini LED TV, but they're notably lower than the levels offered by my other picks in this guide. Number 4. TCL 65-inch QM7K QLED 4K TV. Best mid-range option. TCL's QM7K is the brand's latest mid-range QLED, and it's one of the best TVs in its price range. This model replaces last year's QM7, which is occasionally a bit cheaper but is now hard to find in stock. Though both displays offer similar performance, the QM7K has a few improvements in backlight control and viewing angles. Like the company's cheaper QM6K, the QM7K uses a mini LED backlight with quantum dots and local dimming. It also supports up to a 144Hz refresh rate and uses the Google TV operating system for snappy access to tons of streaming services. But what sets this pricier model apart from its cheaper sibling is its peak brightness. The QM7K can get more than twice as bright as the QM6K. I measured a peak of around 1,800 nits on a 10% test pattern. That's more than enough to give specular highlights, like explosions, ample intensity in HDR movies and TV shows. That said, the QM7K isn't much brighter than its predecessor from 2024, the QM7. But the QM7K does have other upgrades up its sleeve. TCL has implemented an improved backlighting system in this year's model, and the results are impressive. While I noticed some light fluctuations and patchy brightness in dark scenes when reviewing last year's QM7, the QM7K is almost entirely free from these kinds of flaws. Likewise, halos around bright objects are almost non-existent. Similarly, viewing angles have been notably improved. This is still a QLED, so color and contrast do wash out from an extreme angle, but you can veer further from the center without the TV's quality degrading as much. And there you have it. The 4 champions of 2025. Whether you're a hardcore gamer, a movie buff, or just want the best for family movie night, one of these is your winner. If this guide saved you from analysis paralysis or saved you hundreds of dollars, pay it back by hitting that like button. Share this video with anyone you know who's looking for a TV, they'll appreciate you cutting through the noise for them. Subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss our full, in-depth reviews of each of these models. We're putting them through their paces with next-gen games and 8K content next week. All the links to buy are in the description below. This is helping you build the ultimate setup. Thanks for watching.